everyone, Clio here and welcome to another reading vlog. It is Monday and for this week I don't really have much planned as always, but I do have a goal and that is to finish the Obelisk by Jemisin. So I'll talk a little bit more about it in a later clip, but I am about 76 pages into this. It's a 400-page book and that is mainly going to be my focus for this week. I also have another book that I will finish today, which is Exciting Times. Alright, so am I in focus? Focus question remains. It's like every single time that I film, it's like, is this focused? I think so. So right before I lost storage on my what do you call this, SD card, I was about to say that I still had one book to finish, but basically apparently I only needed to listen to 4 more minutes of this book, and that is Exciting Times by Dolan. I'm going to keep on trying to interpret how to pronounce that name, but I'm sorry, it's probably totally a butchering of that name. Now, a lot of people are talking about this debut, and it's very much a debut that is being lauded, and it's being compared to like Sally Rooney, but I personally have not read Sally Rooney yet. Did I like it? I enjoyed it just fine, but there, once again, like if you've seen my last week's reading vlog, you will have known that I've read at this point quite a few books one after the other where I've been like meh about. So with this one the same, I enjoyed it just fine, but it wasn't anything spectacular to me. It was just there, it worked for me, but it didn't do anything more than that. I also think that the audiobook definitely isn't the best because I liked the narrator's voice when she was narrating her own perspective, but I didn't like when she was doing other people's voices. I just didn't like the rendition of that. So she is a Irish woman, and the way that she does the British accent just didn't really work for me. It might have also just been her interpretation of the way that particularly Julian speaks, because she just makes him seem so off-putting. He's so like disinterested, so posh, so distant, that I really didn't have any sort of idea why our main character liked this Julian, why she put up with certain things that he said, with the way he said things. And so and it just overall made it very annoying for me to understand, to kind of try and realize why she was clinging on to this sort of relationships that they had. But yes, I did like the crisp, clean style of this narration. There wasn't too many frills, it was very much to the point, which I actually very much enjoy in a sort of like romance story. It's this, because of this you don't really get this sort of attachment to relationship that you might otherwise get in a like romantically inclined book, but I actually enjoy this look at a romance in which we don't dive into the romantic aspects of things too much. But so yeah, altogether I don't really know what to think of this book, but yeah, I'm going to be continuing on with my next read, so I'm going to be continuing on focusing on the Obelisk Gate for the rest of this evening. I don't even know how much time I still have before bedtime, not a lot. For the rest of this evening I'm just going to watch some booktube. I have been watching quite a lot of YouTube today already, so this is going to be a little bit of my rest from reading because I've been reading quite a lot during the weekend. I also brought a friend from the office. Hello, meet my little pancake plant. I do not name my plants because I basically have to consider myself a plant serial killer, and so I'm going to be attempting to keep this baby alive. I have like 5 or 6 plants that have made it. Multiple plants have died at this point, but I'm going to be repotting this one and then finding a place for it where it will hopefully survive. So yeah, cue montage. Hey guys! So I'm doing an outfit of the day because I actually like what I'm wearing today, so don't mind whatever I've done with my hair here. But I love my outfit, so I got this like gold pleated shirt, or however you call that, my nice khaki cardigan, and my favorite jeans, and Tom's shoes. So I think I look quite cute, maybe a little bit artsy. Also this total film style is totally artsy. But so yeah, I'm going to show you some other stuff that I bought because I also bought some plants. So yes, meet my new plant babies. If you want to make a guess at how long I'll be able to keep them alive, I will understand. So yeah, in principle I want that whole thing to be filled with plants at some point. But yeah, let's first see how long I can keep these guys alive. So something else that I bought but I'm not going to show is cat food, because these guys are needy clearly. But so, the book, I am somewhat on a book buying ban, not really, but I am trying to reduce the amount of unread books on my shelf, so I also try to limit the amount of books that I buy. But I actually already read this book, I even already own it, and that's why I'm allowed to buy it. And that is The Way of Kings in the giant floppy paperback edition. So I already own The Way of Kings. Ooh, Jesus. I own The Way of Kings, but look at this difference. So I started out with like mass market paperbacks. So I have the mass market for The Way of Kings and for Words of Radiance, but then I couldn't wait for the mass market for Oathbringer, because I was initially waiting for it, but then it just got postponed and postponed, and then I said, you know what, I'm going to switch to the floppy paperbacks, and then I bought Oathbringer in the floppy paperback. I've already bought Words of Radiance in this edition as well, and so now finally my edition is complete again and will be looking nice. It's also got these very nice end papers that I'm going to refilm. I'm going to show you guys in better light, I think you So it is Friday evening. I know I have not updated you guys a lot this week. I've basically been taking like quite a bit of time off of reading, not fully, but I've just been reading like a chapter a day for the past couple of days, with the exception of yesterday. So yesterday I actually read 90 pages in the Obelisk. So I am at this point halfway through the book. So my plan for tonight is to try and get to 100 pages today, because that will mean that I have like just under 100 pages to go on Saturday, and that I can still fit in like a decent amount of reading on Saturday, Sunday, and maybe even finish another book. But so yeah, the past few days I haven't really felt like reading, and I've also been totally okay with that, you know. In the past I've definitely had like the tendency to beat myself up for not reading too much, but probably I guess because I have been having quite a lot of, because I have been having quite a good reading month so far, I also allowed myself to be like, yeah, let's just take it slower for these couple of days. I've been watching some YouTube, I've been watching BookTube, I've been watching gymnastics, I've been editing a lot, so I hope to be able to keep that going throughout the weekend. So as for the Obelisk, I actually really like the way that this book starts, so I'm going to just read like the first 2 lines or something like that of this book. So, no, I'm telling this wrong. After all, a person is herself and others. Relationships chisel the final shape of one's being. I am me and you. So I like this introduction into this book, and it's very much also something that will be like hinted at in the book. So it's very much looking at the way that others shape us. So we are in principle looking at 3 different perspectives, but it's also looking at how each of these people live in the others, you know, how each of these have had such an impact on the other that they shaped that person. So we are in this one continuing on with the timeline of Esun, how we left that off at the end of the first book, and then we are also looking at the storyline from the perspective of Nasun, Esun's daughter. So in the first book we are not directly introduced to Nasun, we are just seeing how Esun is like trying to find her daughter Nasun. And so in this one we are getting Nasun's story starting from the point where she disappears prior to the start of book 1. So I've really been enjoying it so far. I very much like the storyline that we're getting with Nasun, for example. I mean, I'm liking the one with Esun as well, but I already liked Esun, so like it's not a big shocker for me that I'm liking her, but I'm very much liking what we are looking at with Nasun, because Nasun, which is not a spoiler because we more or less know this, or it's more or less implied at the beginning of book 1. So Nasun's brother has just been murdered by her father, and her father takes her with him. And so we are very much looking at the dynamics of that relationship, of her having seen her father kill her brother just for being special, for having powers, of her father knowing that she is the same, and that sort of struggle between him loving his daughter and him hating what she is, and that on her side, that struggle of knowing what her father has done, knowing her father in part hates her, but also really longing for that relationship she used to have with her father, longing for that love that her father used to feel for her, and that she can sometimes still see in him. Hey everyone, so my Saturday has gone a bit differently than I expected. So first of all, I did not read 100 pages yesterday as I was hoping to. I only read like 36 pages, so I definitely have to pick up a little bit more from what I didn't read yesterday. And secondly, today I did read a little bit in this morning, and then I said like I'm going to go quickly into the city center, just buy myself a couple of things, and then I returned, but I ran into a colleague of mine, and what started out as just going for egg rolls together became like, hey, let's also go for cocktails. And so what started out as 1 cocktail became 3 cocktails. So yeah, it is now like, I don't even know for sure, but it should be around 4, probably a little bit past 4. And I still need to continue reading, but I don't know whether I'll be able to finish the book today. But so I bought volumes 7, 8 and 9 of Saga. So volume 7, volume 8 and volume 9 of Saga, and so I will be finishing out Saga pretty soon. Now really, this has been on my radar for a while, and so the only reason why I hadn't bought them yet is because they didn't have them in stock in the comic store, so I would have had to like ask them to order them for me. So I kind of considered that to be like my sign from the universe to be like, okay, let's just not buy them this month. But so when I checked it earlier today, I saw that they had them in stock today, so I was going to purchase them no matter what. But so yeah, for the rest of today, I definitely want to dive in further into the Obelisk Gate, because I want to finish this book at least tomorrow, but I do prefer to finish it today so that I can still try and finish another fantasy tomorrow, just because I want to get some more like physical books out of the way for this month. I feel like I haven't really made a lot of progress on my physical TBR this month. the Obelisk Gate. So it is absolutely amazing. I would definitely say like people who have been reading fantasy for a long time and who are kind of searching for something new, searching for something different, definitely need to check out the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin, because it's just so different from the majority of fantasy that you're reading. So it's got a very complex world. The world building on this one it isn't just that we are entering into a very detailed world in which the structure is unlike most structure we've seen. It's also the way in which we are introduced to the elements of this world, which is done in a complex way, and it's very much spread out throughout the story. So it's very much you are discovering things about this world and you're starting to make sense of this world as you're going along. So a lot of this reading also entails confusion. A lot of the times it's confusing to you, what is happening is confusing to you, how the world is structured, how the world works, what these different types of like beings are that are being presented into this world. And so it is not easy reading. It is not the case that I would recommend this to somebody who is just starting out with fantasy and who wants to find a book to get them going. I would say that this one is definitely something that it's better to go into if you've already had some experience with fantasy, with world building. Apart from that, you also just have difficult character connections, difficult relationships, where relationships are very much these deep things that cannot be named easily. You know, the bond between parents and children, for example, it isn't as clear cut as just parents loving their children, children loving their parents, and them acting accordingly. It's very much also about how you can still hurt the people you love and all of those things. So it's very much a complex, a deep, a layered read, but I absolutely love it, and I definitely want to continue because we found out some very interesting stuff in this one, and yeah, I cannot wait to dive into the third one. Don't have it yet, so I will definitely be purchasing it in August. I'm hoping just to put it in my August TBR and to wait until August to purchase it, but I gotta say that I'm very much like eager to dive into it at this point, but I do think I'm going to wait like the 2 more weeks it takes for the month of August to arrive, because there are some other things that I also still need to get around to. Hey guys, time to wrap up the week. So this week I finished some 80 pages in Exciting Times by Dolan. Then I finished the Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. I think I read about like 300 pages in this book this week. I had also started it earlier already. I absolutely love this one, 5-star read. We'll definitely be looking forward to continuing it very soon, and can highly recommend. And then I finished and started Saga Volume 7 yesterday. I don't think I talked about it yesterday because I think I still needed to start it when I did my clip. But so I absolutely adored this one. But it also had its like sadder moments. It looks at like dealing with grief, and at the end of this I was very close to shedding some tears. So I'm continuing my love for Saga. I don't see this changing anymore in the 2 remaining volumes that I have to go before I'm caught up with the series. Sadly, like when is the next Saga going to be published? I need info, people. But so yeah, that was my reading week this week. I do hope that I had some extra clips, but I do think that I had quite some extra footage in this one for once. But so yeah, see you guys for the next one. Bye.